Okay, welcome to Pitlane News. I'm Matthew Jordan. I have the pleasure today of speaking with Alex Toth-Jones, who's a Yorkshireman, racing driver, GT racing driver, Ginetta, and future GT3 racing driver. Alex, how are you doing?
I'm good, mate. I'm good, thank you. Yeah, it's been a while since been properly out in a racing car, so it's nice to still be remembered as a racing driver.
Yes, yeah, it's been a strange year, obviously, more than a year. But I think things are changing. A lot of the guys that I've been speaking to have been doing the Brit car like last weekend and stuff. So it's picking up. Tell us a bit about your background, Alex. Your sort of briefly your racing history.
So I started in around 2010 when I was about 11 years old in go-karts, club level. Just me and dad kind of just having a go at it, seeing where we could get to. The love just kind of grew and grew and grew as we went along, and yeah, one thing led to another. And I always had the dream of being in cars. I wasn't massively too interested in Super One and British karting championships. I was quite, as a young kid, I always looked at the money and the costs thing, and I saw cars as a more cost effective option and the best way to really forward your career. And yeah, just pushed and pushed and pushed, and we ended up getting just enough sponsorship to go and do part of the season in GT5 Challenge with Richardson Racing. And yeah, from there it just developed and built, and 3 years of that, and then managed to get a big break in British GT, be part of the Aston Martin Racing Driver Academy, and with Academy
How
Motorsport.
was that?
And
How was working with Aston
yeah,
Martin?
just
Was that
like
great?
mega, what a brand, what a manufacturer. The support is amazing. They obviously, the academy they launched the year was the first year that I was involved in it, and yeah, from everything outside of the circuit, prepping for race weekends, simulator sessions, fitness, diet, stuff like that. They just gave you that little helping hand, and then at the circuit as well, the coaching and the mindset kind of help really did help. It was my first year in British GT, so it was a massive learning curve in general. Big step up from GT5 and sprint racing to go into
Yeah.
this endurance series with a teammate, and quite a bit more expensive car. But yeah, and it was just mega, and obviously Tom Canning won it that year, but I think it was so close, and there was some really good feedback that came from it, and it was the start of quite a good relationship with Aston Martin.
Brilliant, brilliant. How did you get into that? Was that a scholarship, or how did you get into that sort of break with them? Because that's a dream come true for many drivers, isn't it?
So yeah, I mean, so the way it worked was, if you were signed to a team that was running Aston Martin in British GT, then you could apply for the academy. So obviously, I was quite fortunate that I had good sponsorship behind me at the time to to fund that seat in British GT, and that made me eligible to apply for the academy. There was a shootout process at ProDrive, simulator fitness interview with some of the factory drivers and engineers and stuff like that. So it was quite a rigorous process, but I think 20 of us got picked in the end across Europe and the world. So yeah, I was quite fortunate to be on it, and yeah, even though I didn't win it, it was an awesome experience. And I think the contacts and the the kind of relationship I built with Aston Martin off the back of that was good enough anyway.
Brilliant, brilliant. And what are the plans for this year? Obviously, we're trying to help you because you're part of the Sponsors for Racing platform. So we're out there. It's been tough. Last year was crazy. The guys that we did have on board, we didn't lose any sponsors, but we lost some investments because obviously for COVID. I think now it's starting to change. A lot of companies have to sort of get involved in marketing even more so. We've got some stuff coming up, but it's been a tough. That's what we, how's it looking so far? Well, you're still planning to head for the GT3 championships?
Yeah, I mean, this year is quite a weird year. Obviously, the world's getting back to normal, and racing is really starting to resume properly, as as we all knew it was before COVID. I mean, for me, it's been quite a big shift. This is the first year in cars that I've been without a management company behind me and the sponsorship that came with that. So I'm really, pushing myself. It's very family based. Obviously, you guys are helping a big part as well, which is amazing.
And your mum as well. She's
yeah.
she's
I
right
mean,
behind you, isn't she? I see she likes all my posts. She's very active, isn't she?
yeah, she's taken on the official job title as mumager, so mum and manager.
Mummager.
Um,
Brilliant. As
so,
opposed to dadager.
yeah, well, kind of. No, so we did that back in the days of karting, in the first couple of years of Ginetta. So we do, we're capable of that. It's just we decided that was what's going to be best for me from now on. And I think the main thing is because it's a weird year, and obviously sponsorship's been a little bit harder to obtain, and obviously with the hospitality side lacking with COVID restrictions and stuff. I think this year for me, it's more to target getting out for a round or 2 rounds in something. Someone knocked on the door.
Let him in.
I can wait. Yeah, it was get around for a round or 2 rounds of something in the year, just to really keep the name out there, keep the exposure out there, and then really try and build something for 2022. 100%. I think to have a year without being in a car at all is not good.
No.
So it's just about making sure that there's something out there, whether that's something a little bit, maybe a sidestep from what I've been doing previously. So obviously I did Sprint Challenge last year and done GT4 before that. So maybe Ginetta Super Cup, or I had offers for VLN and British GT. So the offers are there. It's just making it happen. I think for this year and getting the name out there and plan something for next year.
Are you doing any sim activity at all? Any online sort of competitions?
Yeah, so I'm quite fortunate. I have a really good partnership with a guy called Rich Hayden and a company called VRRC, which is Virtual Reality Racing Club. So I have one of Rich's sims at my house, competing in all their fun races, and they've been doing some quite big championships, like a touring car E-Series and a mini challenge E-Series, which have been endorsed by the Ven Championships. So it's getting really good coverage, and especially in lockdown, it was the only kind of coverage that was out there. So that was really good, and that's been a really good relationship that's built with Rich. And I think the main thing is keeping that strong and trying to get the kind of, there's quite still a separation between real racing and sim racing, at the top level. So I think now, especially with what Jensen's doing with Rocket RJN and with what McLaren are doing, a lot of stuff, it's really trying to blend sim and real world kind of stuff. And I think Rich is really trying to do that as well by combining real drivers and sim drivers. So, to be a part of that, that's mega.
Well, yeah, listen, it's a great tool. I've said before in previous interviews, it's a great tool for a driver, learning circuits and braking and stuff. But it's a better tool, especially for the younger guys, that it's exposure. I've had one of our other guys on Sponsors for Racing is Hugh Barter, who's an Australian guy who's in French F3, and he won last week the first race, so he's doing well. But we do advise and stuff. It's about exposure, social media, and he did a post this morning we've just shared across the platforms where he's just doing he's got his own little box in the bottom corner, and he's at Silverstone in a McLaren car, and he's just talking it's about a minute long, but he's talking to the audience, talking about Silverstone, a bit about the course. And it's just, again, it's keeping your name in and social media. He's mentioned all the sponsors, which is his current sponsors. And this is, I think, key for future. These sponsors now, we know that a sticker on a car is that's standard, but you don't often see it. But the fact that online, especially through COVID, that online stuff and tagging, and the companies are getting a lot of benefits out of these tagging stuff and being linked to it. So it did a great thing. So I think sim is great for that. Obviously, I'm gutted that some of these guys that play games all their childhood get to go race in a racing car. And there's me that's been 50 years now not having the chance, apart from circuit days. But that's fair play, Can they? I'm not sure. Can they? Do they have the skills that the real life track skills aren't the same as a machine? You have to have that anti-fear thing, I think. But again, listen, we'll see how it goes. What about you?
I think it's easier for a sim driver to make the transition to real world than it is the other way around.
Yeah.
Because when you go from real driver to sim driver, you lose in feeling. Yeah. So you're losing the feeling through your bum, whereas a sim driver, they're getting more feeling. once they get over the fact that they're actually moving, and there's the fear aspect of that, I think
that's what I'm saying. That fear,
yeah.
that fear aspect is something. It's a bit like these idols, or the singing programs. You get all the guys coming on and singing, and they've got talent, but they haven't gone through the process of the confidence and being out in a small venue and a big venue, and all of a sudden it's like, oh my God, and whereas you guys have done it from karting, you have. I was racing cars illegally at the age of 13 on the road, road cars. So I have no fear, and that's what is. Whereas you don't have that on a sim car, where in a real car it becomes real. So yeah, we'll see. Now, what's this thing about? I've got here. I've just checked your website out last week. Hashtag Burt Goose.
So this story goes all the way back to my first season in cars. So like I mentioned, with we only had a small budget, so we joined at the second round. Now with Ginetta and GT5 Challenge, you have your name on the back window. Obviously I turned up late to the party, so there was no pre-made name for myself. So the team got chucked a load of stickers of bits and bats of letters and names, and said, "Budget, make a name." So obviously the guys are joking around in the garage, making all sorts of names, and I walked in and they'd had Burt Goose stuck on it just because some of the letters that were there. Found it hilarious. Nothing of it at the time. My number one mechanic, Drew, who then got one of his mates, is a caricature artist, just drew this angry goose, Burt Goose, with a helmet and stuff and race suit. And then it just spiraled from there. Got a sticker made that went on the car. Now every car's like that I drive is called Burt Goose. There's a sticker on the back of my helmet, or the design on the back of my helmet. So yeah, it's just one of those funny kind of stories that's come from nowhere and just developed into
any future post will do. I'll add that hashtag as well, and I'll check it out for sure.
Not been used for a while, actually.
Yeah. Now we spoke recently. You, I think, and your family, you're looking at doing starting a track day company up. Is that correct?
Yeah. So me and a couple of colleagues that I've worked with in the instructing industry and the experience kind of supercar kind of environment, we decided we wanted to set up a track day hospitality company called Get On Track. We're just in the final processes of launching the website and putting everything together, but effectively what we want to do is we want to be able to take clients with their own supercars, or own cars in general, or maybe a client that's got one of these vehicles but isn't ready to take it on circuit and they want some development. We're really aiming at the tuition kind of side of it, right. And learn your car, and so you can drive it safely, not only on the road but on track. So the way we will be operating is we'll be linking onto existing track days, but providing our own hospitality and our own coaching. Obviously we're all high level ARDS instructors and racing drivers of either current or previous years, providing coaching, hospitality, and really development, catering for kind of any scenario really. So anybody who wants to get on track, as the logo says, can do it. Brilliant.
We'll discuss that later. We'll add you guys to the Pitlane News Motorsport supplies and stuff, and we'll be glad perhaps even pop down and do some filming and stuff as well. Might even take the Pitlane News Chevrolet V8 around the track and scare the pants off you.
No problem.
Okay, so listen, we'll speak obviously in the future. We've got a few things lined up, meetings this week with sponsorship, so we'll talk in the week. Hopefully get something else, but and the people that are listening or watching it now, we'll be promoting and pushing obviously yourself across the platform. So we're hoping to get some stuff for you guys, get you on track this year. But yeah, listen, thanks for your time today, Alex. I know it's been cancelled a few times, but it has been non-stop. But yeah, listen, we're all behind you and your mum, and we'll talk in the near future, and we'll try and get something in ASAP.
No, pleasure, mate. Thank you.
Listen, mate, thanks for your time and have a great week. See ya. Hang on, I'm going to stop this thing. I'm still new to Zoom. Hang on, let's just...